I listen, sir, I listen.
Haven't we ever come across this reference to this surah, Surah An-Nur, and this verse, particular verse of Ayah Khilafa? Haven't you ever heard of it?
I have not heard. I have not listened to this program.
You have not heard it either.
No, I read it. I am just asking whether this in Christianity and Judaism, is there any such example of...
That is what I am telling you. I have spoken at length on this subject, and I have explained the whole issue of Khilafat with reference to Judaism and with reference to Christianity.
Okay, sir.
Why would you like me to repeat all that, you know, a discourse of say half an hour or 1 full hour in this short question and answer session? Okay. Find out where I have spoken already on this subject and refresh your memory with that.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Jazakallah.
Any other question, please? I think the audience is suffering from my jet lag. No question. Here's one, I think, hopefully.
Assalamu alaikum, Hazrat.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Hazrat, my question is, for a long time, this one guiding principle Huzur mentioned, that if we have two meanings of any part or verse of the Quran, we should look for some other verses, they'll support one meaning or other, then accept that meaning. So that helps in very big percentage of the times. But some of the situations are like one big example that comes to my mind is like some Muslims believe Rasul Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam were bashar, just like anybody else, and some believe that and some believe that he was Noor. That Huzur has in last few months explained very detail. Is there any other principle Huzur could kindly give us to clarify some other situations where more than one verse in Quran supports two differing meanings?
There's so many, I can't enumerate them. There's so many.
No, just
every
what
verse of the
principle
Quran
should we
is
follow?
in essence supported by the entire Quran, because there is an underlying spirit of the Quran which as such stands witness to the truth of all its verses, and particularly those verses which are referred to in the Holy Quran as al-muhkamat. They are like pillars which carry the load of the whole building and are unshakable, soundly founded. So the Holy Quran speaks of those al-muhkamat and says that any verses which may offer you a few options which do not agree with each other, as far as different possible options of niche meaning are concerned, which agree with each other, there is no problem. If they agree with each other and they agree generally with the spirit of the Quran, as I have just mentioned, there is no such problem as finding support elsewhere. But when there are two meanings which seem to contradict each other, only then this question arises. Which one would you prefer? Here the sound principle to follow is that refer to muhkamat, where all basic essential teachings have been clearly explained. So any possible option which clashes with that, with muhkamat, should be rejected. And that which follows it that which is in agreement with muhkamat, that should be accepted. So the first suggestion which I made was, which you just referred to, is a different one. That said that according to the Quran, the Holy Quran has verses in couples, in pairs. And one statement is not made singly alone. The same statement is made elsewhere from a different vantage point. And when you look at the same meaning from that, then everything becomes very clear. Like two pointing fingers. Wherever they meet, the direction of their pointing meets, that is the spot which is most certainly true and right. So similarly, the Holy Quran has pointing fingers of various verses. If you find the partner verse which speaks of the same subject from a slightly different angle, then it helps you understand the true meaning. Got it? Jazakumullah. तकलीफ हो रही है तो फिर आप चले जाए बाहर
वो तकलीफ नहीं है
हाँ
तकलीफ ये हो रही थी कि यहाँ एक कारपेट था बड़ा
अस्सलाम वालेकुम हुजूर
तो सुबह जो इंचार्ज साहब थे मैं तो उन्होंने ये हुक्म दिया था कि अमीर साहब
छोड़ो मेरे
तो मैं इसको फिर आगे करता हूँ
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं
तो फिर मैं इसको उठा देता हूँ मुझे
नहीं आपको कोई इजाजत नहीं है जो जिस तरह एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में रखी जो चीज वही रहने दें
तकलीफ हो रही थी
आप तकलीफ हो रही है जगह छोड़ दें
नहीं बस
बिल्कुल ये नामुनासिब बातें हैं आप इस तरह ना किया करें कई दफ़ा आपको पहले भी समझाने की कोशिश की मगर आप मानते नहीं बात ठीक है प्लीज
अस्सलाम वालेकुम हुजूर why can't we go past a person who is reading namaz?
नमाज क्या करना
Why can't we pass a person who is reading
Why shouldn't
namaz?
we?
Why are we not allowed?
Yes, right. Why shouldn't? Yes. You see, the person who is performing namaz is not always standing. He sometimes bends down in ruku and covers a half the area in front of his, which is allowed for him to use. If there are 4 feet altogether between each saf, each line, then when he bends down, almost half of it is covered by him in that position. So if anyone crosses, he may hit him, and when he is crossing and he bows, they may meet halfway, then there may be a clash between the two. Then when he bows down to prostration, then he covers almost the whole of the 4 feet reserved for him. So how can will you cross over him jumping?
No.
And how do you know when he's going to go suddenly into prostration? If he goes while you are crossing, then you will again hit him. And that is the obvious reason. That place in front is reserved from him. Nobody has the right of trespass. The second, if somebody passes too close, his attention will be diverted. And repeatedly, if people come and go, he can't concentrate on his memory of God. So the distance which has to be left left clean and unoccupied for him is between him and his sajdagar, as we call it, where the head rests. And while he is standing, he always looks down at that point where normally his head rests in sajda. So anyone who crosses that line off and on will disturb his concentration on namaz. So it's a very wise injunction, and in fact very essential for us to follow and respect. Got it?
Yes.
Jazakumullah. अच्छा
अस्सलाम वालेकुम हुज़ूर
Assalamu alaikum Salim, how are you?
I'm fine.